across the valley long before the sun rose. At the top of the Great Pyramid, a boy knelt, trembling, the smell of burning copal thick in the air. Thousands watched from below, faces painted red and black, flowers clutched in shaking hands. The obsidian blade caught the morning light, and with a single motion the priest lifted it high. The crowd roared, and the heart of the empire kept beating. What if I told you this wasn't chaos? It was order. This wasn't madness. It was management. The Aztecs had built the world's first machine powered not by steam or stone, but by human lives. Their capital, Tenochtitlan, glittered in the sun, a floating city of white temples and blue canals, clean streets, and markets overflowing with cocoa and gold. It was the jewel of the Americas, a city that could rival any in Europe. Yet at its heart stood something darker, a belief that the sun itself demanded blood to rise each morning. Without sacrifice, the sky would fall, the crops would die, and the world would end. But that belief wasn't just faith, it was power, because every empire needs obedience, and nothing unites people like fear of the end of the world. The priests told the people that each drop of blood fed the gods, that every heart cut from a chest gave the sun strength to fight the darkness. But behind that faith was a structure of absolute control. The emperors understood something profound. Fear could hold an empire together more tightly than loyalty ever could. So they turned ritual into policy, religion into administration. Every city that joined their empire was required to send tribute, not only gold and food, but prisoners for sacrifice. Refuse and the Aztec army would come. Accept, and you became part of the sacred machine. It was genius in its cruelty. To keep the machine running, the Aztecs invented the flower wars, ritual battles fought not to conquer land, but to harvest victims. Young warriors trained for years not to kill but to capture. Each prisoner was a trophy, a ticket to honor. Their names were recorded, their fates sealed. On festival days, the pyramids turned into conveyor belts of death, thousands offered up in a single event. The priests worked with precision, as if performing sacred surgery. To the outside world, it looked like madness, but inside it was perfect order, an empire of fear that fueled itself. Imagine standing in that crowd, the drums thundering like a heartbeat, the air so thick with incense it burned your throat, the scent of flowers mixed with something metallic, the priests painted like jaguars and eagles chanting to the rhythm of death. This was more than ritual, it was theatre, a performance designed to awe, to terrify, and to remind every subject that the gods were always watching. Parents brought their children to witness it, to learn that obedience meant survival. The empire didn't need walls, it had belief. But machines like this can't last forever. The more it consumed, the more it needed. When drought struck, more sacrifices were demanded. When enemies rebelled, the pyramids filled again, and slowly the machine began to eat itself. Then one day strangers appeared on the horizon, pale-skinned men with beards carrying weapons that spat fire. Hernan Cortés and his soldiers had come, claiming to be messengers of a god. And in a cruel twist of fate, the Aztec calendar had long predicted the return of a divine being on the exact year Cortés arrived. Many believed it was prophecy fulfilled, but prophecy doesn't stop bullets. When steel met stone, when gunpowder met obsidian, the Aztec machine finally broke. The priests kept offering hearts to the gods, but the gods did not answer. Smallpox swept through the capital faster than any army. The great city that had ruled by fear fell silent, its canals filled with ash and blood. The machine had stopped, but its design, its idea, survived. Because the truth is, the Aztecs weren't the only ones to build systems that demanded sacrifice. They were just honest about it. Their victims were chosen openly, their ceremonies public. Today, our sacrifices are quieter. We trade lives for progress, truth for power, souls for convenience. The Aztecs built pyramids to feed their gods. We build systems that feed ours. And maybe, if we listen closely, the drums never really stopped, they just changed their rhythm. If you want to uncover more of the world's hidden machinery, where belief, fear, and power collide, stay curious. Because history doesn't repeat itself, it just finds new ways to be worshipped.